Well, that was a little bit unexpected. And speaking of unexpected events, let's talk about Black Swan events. You may be wondering, why is the term Black Swan for a major unexpected event as opposed to a white dog? Well, here's why. Well, this expression was actually used for the first time in 2nd century Rome, where, with all the knowledge of the world at the time, it was thought to be that all swans were white. It's a bit of a long, boring history of poetry and theatre performers in Rome, but basically someone pointed out to say that if one day someone discovered a black swan, that would sort of contradict what everyone else knows to be true, that swans are only white. And then, in 1697, a black swan event actually did happen when Dutch explorers found black swans off the coast of Western Australia. So, why is this constantly used when investors are talking amongst one another? Well, this is brought into the modern economic radar by a man by the name of Nazim Nicholas Taleb. And he basically wrote a book stating that a black swan event needs to tick 3 boxes. The first one is that it has to be a complete surprise for the people involved. The second factor that needs to be ticked is that it needs to have devastating consequences, or just a large consequence. And the third box that needs to be ticked is that it needs to be very obvious with hindsight. And so there are many examples that we can think of. The global financial crisis was a great example. It was completely unexpected to all the people involved in the market. It had a devastating effect on the world economy. And when you look at all the money figures in hindsight, it is extremely obvious. This is another great example as well. We all know about the tidal wave that hit the Fukushima nuclear power plant in 2011. And what many people don't know though is that there actually was a seawall built around the nuclear power plant to protect it from those very tidal waves. But where the failure was is that the wall was only built to protect against the highest wave that hit that coast so far in its history. They had not accounted for something that was historically unprecedented. So I really hope that answered your question about what is a black swan event that investors are always talking about. And if it has answered your question, please leave me a like and subscribe and all that other stuff that everyone says at the end of videos, and have a nice day.